Hey, in this video, we're going to learn to divide polynomials. We're going to begin with some simpler problems and then ease our way into a little bit more challenging ones. So first, when we're dividing using long division. Well, this one we don't really have to divide using long division. If it's a binomial, this is two terms, by a monomial, all we're going to have to do is take each term and divide it by the 3x. So I'm just going to rewrite it as 6x squared over 3x minus 15x divided by 3x. And now we can just do the math. What is 6 divided by 3? We know that's 2. Remember, x squared is the same as x times x. If I've got x squared, x times x divided by an x, well, those are going to become 1. The one on the top and the bottom becomes 1, and then I'm just left with an x. Okay, so looking here, those x's are going to cancel, or not really cancel, they become 1. X over x is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and then 5 times that 1 is just 5. So I end up with 2x minus 5. So I have a binomial as my answer. And there's this whole big section in your book that's just explaining the division algorithm. And what it's saying is you should be able to check yourself. If you say that this divided by this equals this, then in theory, if you did everything correctly, this times this should equal that. So we can check it real quick by seeing is 3x times 2x minus 5 actually equal to 6x squared? So distribute it. 6 x times x is x squared. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, and we get our x. So we know that we must have done it correctly. So this is the answer. This is just a way to check yourself. All right, so try this one. Pause the video and give it a try after you listen to this real quick recap. What does it mean if I have negative 1 here as an exponent? Remember, a negative just drops it to the denominator. So really, this is the exact same thing as what I have here. It's just written differently. So we can just scratch this off and write divide by, pretend that didn't cross through it, 6 times AB. That negative 1 just means move it to the denominator. So pause the video and give this a try. I'm going to take each term and divide it by 6ab. So plus 18a squared b squared divided by 6ab minus 30ab cubed divided by 6ab. Now do the division. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. A to the 4th divided by an a is a to the 3rd. B to the 3rd divided by a b is b to the 2nd. Hopefully you remember these rules from Algebra 1. You can just subtract those exponents. 4 take away 1 is 3. 3 take away 1 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. It's positive, so we're going to keep it a positive. A to the 2nd divided by a is an a. And b to the 2nd divided by a b is b. Minus 30 divided by 6 is 5. Those a's are gone. That's like 1 take away 1 is 0, so it's gone. 3 take away 1 is 2, so I'm left with b to the 2nd. And again, we could check this by doing this times 6ab and see that it gives us 24a to the 4th b to the 3rd plus 18a squared b squared minus 30ab cubed. All right, so now we got to get things a little more intense. We're going to divide a polynomial by a binomial. And the way that we do this, we're going to use long division. Later on, I'm going to teach you a different way to do it, but today we're going to use long division. So we're going to write this out like it's a long division problem. X squared minus 5x minus 36. All right, so in long division, we're looking at term by term. I kind of ignore this plus 4 for just a second, and I ask myself, okay, x times how many x's would put me back to x squared? And of course, the answer is just an x. So x times x gives me x squared. X times 4 gives me a positive 4x. And now I subtract. X squared take away x squared is nothing. Negative 5x take away 4x is negative 9x. And then I bring down my minus 36. Okay, so I'm going to ask myself now, if I have this x, what would I have to multiply to get negative 9x? And the answer is negative 9. So negative 9 times x is negative 9x. Negative 9 times 4 is negative 36. And we subtract. So negative 9 take away a 9x, a negative 9, that becomes a positive, right? Negative 9 take away a negative becomes negative 9 plus 9, which is 0. Negative 36 take away a negative 36 becomes negative 36 plus 36, which is 0. Real quick, I would like to show you a little easier way of doing that. I just like to go through and change my sign so that I'm not saying a negative, take away a negative is a positive and confusing the heck out of myself. So what I do instead is I'm working through this, okay? X times x is x squared, x times that is 4x. So I know if I'm subtracting, that's really just changing the sign. So I'm going to change this to a negative and change this to a negative and then add. X plus a negative x is 0. Negative 5 and negative 4 is negative 9. Bring down my negative 36. Again, we're still doing the same thing. I know that I'm going to have a negative 9 here. So negative 9 times x is negative 9x, and then negative 36. So again, to subtract, that just means change the sign. So now combine them. Negative 9 plus 9x is 0. Negative 36 plus 36 is 0. So I have a remainder of 0. So this is my quotient. So I took this and divided by x plus 4 and got an answer of x minus 9. And again, we should be able to check that. X minus 9 times x plus 4 and see that it multiplies back out to give me x squared minus 5x minus 36. So I would like for you to pause the video and try this next problem. Okay, so first write it out with long division, and then I again ask myself, x times what would give me x squared? And that would be x. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. I'm going to subtract, so that means I'm just going to change the sign of everything. X, take away x squared is nothing. 6x plus 8x is 14x. Bring down my negative 112. Ask myself, x times what would give me 14x? The answer is 14. X times 14 is 14x. 14 times negative 8 is, in fact, negative 11, 12, 112. So again, I'm going to subtract, so that means I'm going to change the sign. That gives me a remainder of 0. So this is my answer. So that tells me that x plus 14 times x minus 8 should equal x squared plus 6x minus 112. We could double check ourselves by foiling. X times x is x squared. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. 14 times x is a positive 14x. 14 times negative 8 is negative 112. Combine my like terms and I get 6x. And that's a wrap.